I'm joined now by Macquarie Bank's Alexander Boss. Thank you very much for joining us today. When we look at what's happening in Russia, is this all a bit of a panic, a bit of rumour, or do you really think that wheat production there is going to fall significantly this year?
Well, we certainly think it is a pure weather panic rally that we're seeing right now in the wheat markets. That said, we do think Russian wheat production will be down around 20% this year. That will slash their exportable supplies in the coming year and shift that demand over to countries such as Australia and the US primarily.
But there isn't really going to be a scarcity, is there? I mean, the US has actually got an awful lot of wheat stockpiled.
Exactly. We aren't fundamentally bullish the wheat market. We do think there are significant supplies of wheat in the world market at the moment. What we do think will happen is seeing this lack of exportable supply coming out of Russia. On a world stocks-to-use basis, we are probably coming from a burdensome supply situation to more of a comfortable or adequately supplied situation. So that is certainly shifting the parameters that the market is trading within at the moment.
So this 22-month high is really a little bit unfounded. Is that your thought?
Well, we think based on the stocks-to-use ratios and based on the numbers themselves, that the rally has probably gone past what we would consider fair value. However, in a weather panic like we're currently in, fair value becomes a moving target, and I think the market very easily loses sight of what fair value is. So I think as long as the market continues to feel that we're losing significant amounts of supply, I think we'll probably continue to see the market push higher from here.
Now, we have also heard about export restrictions being introduced in Ukraine and a fear that those export restrictions could also be introduced in Russia. Do you think that's likely?
I think it's a possibility at this point. Whether or not the Russian government actually steps in to restrict exports, wheat prices domestically in Russia will have to rise high enough to ration demand. So whether the Russian government actually steps in to restrict exports or not, we still think there'll be much less wheat coming out of the country.
Now, we were also hearing that there were problems in Canada because there was too much rain, I think, when they were being planted, when the wheat was being planted, the opposite problem. Yeah. But you think that between Australia and America there really is plenty of wheat around?
Exactly. There's some concern yet in Australia, especially the western section of the country that has seen a little bit too much dryness recently. But the eastern half of the country is doing very, very well and should keep their production numbers very high.
Now, do these drought conditions that we're seeing this year mean that there may be some problems with next year's crop as well?
I think there's some concern right now that areas of Russia that will soon begin planting again for their winter wheat crop could start to run into trouble with very little water in the ground currently. So that is certainly a concern which could keep support underneath this market.
Alexander Boss, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.